Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my book vault. If it wasn't obvious, today's video is going to be about my physical TBR. Now I have so many books, like so many books. I don't even know what to do with them. I don't want this video to be too long, so we're just going to do a rapid fire physical TBR. Let's just get straight into the video, okay? I'm going to try and do it from YA to dark romance. And as the books come along, we're going to cap them at the bottom of the screen somewhere here. So we've got Gareth Nix. This is Sabriel, Lyriel, and Appleton. I think there are more books in the series. I don't know about them. Some of them you'll recognize as quite old, quite worn and used, is because actually my sisters that have been passed down to me. I'm really interested to get into these books because I hear it's about zombies, like a form of zombies, and I love zombies. And then we've got Anne Rice's infamous books, Interview with a Vampire, Vampire Lestat, and Queen of the Damned. 2 out of the 3 have been turned into movies. I'm not quite sure about this middle book here, and I don't even know if I'm holding it in the right order. But again, these are a classic. We've got Brandon Sanderson. Now, I think Brandon Sanderson is one of the only male authors that people in the book community actually love. Brandon Sanderson, from what I've heard, is a very, very good writer. And the Mistborn series is one that's really popular. I've heard that there's morally grey characters in this as well, and you know I love a morally grey character, so we've got the Mistborn series. Moving on, we have Patrick Rothfuss's books, The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear. Now, the only reason why I'm not reading this spectacular book is because the 3rd book is not out yet, and I'm not doing that to myself. I know you guys have been waiting for years, and I feel so sorry for you. Moving on to Alison Croghan, The Gift, The Riddle, The Crow, and The Singing. I don't know if this is a complete series or not. Again, something that's been passed down to me. Then we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's a classic. I don't even have to talk too much about it. I watched the movies, but I've never actually read the books. Patrick Ness's Chaos Walking series. I actually wanted to read this book series because it came out as a movie. Dune is one of those books that you have to read the books first in order to understand the movie when you're watching it. And so I don't want to watch the movies just yet because I know I'm not going to understand anything. Very OG book cover. It's quite cute though. And the second one is The Painted Man. I just happened to get this book one day and I didn't really know what it was about. Just started to see it everywhere, and if that wasn't a sign from the universe for me to read this book, then I don't know what it was. This has been on my bookshelf for years. I've never picked it up. Moving on to Book Talk books. There's a lot. Let's start off strong. The Shatter Me series. When I first came on to Book Talk, Shatter Me was everywhere. Every single reel, every single post. Aaron Warner. I want to be part of the Warner Club. I need to know what's so good about this blonde man that everyone seems to love. I want this to change my life. I want to be like, yes, I've read this, and yes, there's a reason why it's so hyped up. The Legend Born Cycle by Tracy Vigon. Again, heard great things about this book series. I think it is incomplete, so I don't want to read this just yet because I hate waiting for books. Like, if it's one of my pet peeves, it's waiting for another book in the series. Then we have Monica Murphy's books. Now, this was before I knew that these books were actually really atrocious. I just saw so many reels of Million Kisses in a Lifetime on TikTok, and I was like, oh my god, well, it must be good. Turns out they're not. These will probably be on my TBR for a very, very long time. I don't really know when I will get to these. Going back to classic books, we've got some Darren Shan books. Now, for some reason, I thought this was 1, 2, and 3. It's not. Like 1, 4, and 7, if I'm not mistaken. Going back to popular Book Talk books, we've got Christina Lauren's Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I love Christina Lauren. They're an amazing duo that I love to read. I especially love their Beautiful series. 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Heard so many good things about this book. I'm actually so excited to dive into this. I've got Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. Again, supporting our Black authors. My friend actually told me that she loved the books. She keeps pestering me to read it. I heard that this is very spicy. It's just an overall great rom-com. Regretting You and Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. Now, I've actually read so many of Colleen Hoover's books. I heard that this book, however, is quite highly rated. I don't know much about this book though. Yes, I will be at one point reading these because I just want to minimize my TBR. Just for that reason, I will be reading these. Next, we've got some Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I absolutely love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't know what it is, but Taylor Jenkins Reid has the ability to just hurt you. That woman's writing just makes you think about things deep. I've got The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon and How to Kill Your Family. The only thing that these 2 books have in common is the fact that I DNF them. The thing is though, I hate DNFing books. So for example, you'll see that I've got a comb I DNF books like this, I usually come back to them at some point in my life to, I don't know, carry on with my self-loathing, but it's still on my TBR because it's unfinished, you know? It's something like that. And How to Kill Your Family by Mac is probably the most boring book I've ever read in my entire life. I'm sorry, I don't get it. It's there. If I want to go back to it, I'll go back to it, but I highly doubt it, so just wanted to include those. Speaking of DNFing a book as well, I'm not gonna lie, Sweet Keeper by Talia Sanchez. DNF'd, again, still on my TBR. Got a Polaroid picture in there as a bookmark. I've been looking for this actually. Look kind of cute. Now what these two books have in common is that these were both thrifted from a second-hand shop. I just happened to go to a bookshop in Turkey and it had like a wall full of thrifted books and then a wall full of fresh books. I just happened to pick one up and then I picked another one up. I read the blurbs of both of these and I was just like, oh my god, I need to buy these. These seemed so interesting. They're both murder mystery. And you know, I've always wanted to read like a mini book. Like this is tiny. Like, look at that, right? The sun is bright. Next, we have a few of Tessa Bailey's books. We have Happenstance. And then we've got Too Hard to Forget and TV's For to Break. These are part of the Romance in the Clarkson series. I have read book 1 and 2. These are books 3 and 4. Each book focuses on a different sibling finding love. Tessa Bailey is one of my instant buy authors. I love her so much. Her writing is amazing. It's funny. And then we've got Happenstance. I bought this book for one purpose only, and if you know me, you will know why I bought this book. It's because it's all I choose, okay? So sue me. Sue me. Kind of DNF, not really, another Polaroid. I don't know what it is, I just couldn't get into this book. I will be finishing this book at some point in the future. Unlike the other books that I've DNF'd, I don't really see myself reading those or finishing those, but this one for sure, I will. Next, I've got You Made a Fall of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. The thing about this book is, I saw this book everywhere. When I went on to Goodreads, I saw that it had a rating of like 3.6, and I just couldn't. I couldn't. I have literally set myself up so many times from the recommendations of Book Talk. 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. Again, heard so many good things about this book. I heard this is really, really, really sad and I have done too much to mess with my mental health. Okay, let me just leave it there. And then we've got Resisting Mr. Kane, the London Mr. series by Rosa Lucas. If you guys remember, I have read the first book in this series and I bought this as like part of my red colour haul, I think. And another book that I've read halfway and DNFs. I kind of just did the, you know, one of those ones, you know, when you just go and then you're like, oh okay, that's how it finishes. I did that and now I just don't want to read anymore because I kind of know what happens. I set myself up for failure. It's fine, it happens. Moving on to Taste Like Shakar by Nisha Sharma. I loved Dating Not to Deal by Nisha Sharma and I know I'm going to love this as well. I'm actually waiting for my friends because we want to read this together. And then The Thorn Princess by LJ Shen. I've heard a lot about LJ Shen. She's everywhere right now. This is like a bodyguard romance. And that's all I needed to know, you know, that's literally all I needed to know for me to pick this book up. Okay, sure, let's go. Are you kidding me? Bodyguards? Stop. I actually picked up My Dark Romeo, again by Parker S. Huntington and LJ Shen. So many good reviews about this book. This is spicy as well. It's straight up my alley. We've got When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I just thought, it's another Book Talk book. Let me buy it, let me waste my money. Then we have Born in Fire by Kef Breen. This was part of the Pick a Colour miniseries edition read. I still haven't got around to read this book purely because, like I said, this is a book series of like 11 books, I think. Then we have The Couple at the Table. I know what you guys are thinking, another bookmark, but no, this is not DNF. No complaints about this book so far. I'm really, really enjoying this. It's just my travel book, so who knows when I'll finish it, you know? Then we have Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Again, very popular Book Talk book. Something that I want to read right now actually, purely because it's such a quick read. It's literally only 300 pages long and I could read this in one sitting. I want to get this out of the way. I heard that this book is really, really good. It's Friends to Lovers. Not my favourite trope. Then we have Reckless by Elsie Silver. I love the Chestnut Spring series. I'm yet to read this book and Hopeless. I just haven't gotten around to reading it yet. I've read books 1, 2 and 3. I know that Theo is everyone's favourite and I want to know why. So I will be reading this very soon, just not right now. I actually have Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This is the book series that is based on the Amazon Prime series The Expanse and I fucking love The Expanse. I'm very, very, very excited to read this. My bookmark is already ready. This will actually be my first sci-fi book that I read, because when you see books of books, you only see like romantasy or romance or fantasy or whatever. No one ever really recommends you a sci-fi book. And then we have King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. Darling, stop, because it's right up my alley. Married of Convenience, Enemies to Lovers, Vampires. Then onto my favourite genre, onto the more debauched books, darling. Dark romance. You can already see it peeking out from behind me. Twisted and Crossed by Emily McIntyre. These are part of the Never After series. If you guys remember me saying that I've read books 1, 2 and 3, I just kind of got bored and it kind of got a bit repetitive and I didn't want to continue on with books 4 and 5. I will at some point, just not now. Then we have The Maddest Obsession and the Darkest Temptation by Danielle Laurie. I have read Sweet as Oblivion and I loved it. You're probably thinking, Selin, why on earth did you stop at book 1? Because I heard that book 2. I really want to finish the series. I just have a feeling that Christian and Ronan are gonna change my life. Then we have the Camelot, I think it's called the Camelot series by Sarah Simone. Now, hear me out, okay? I read book 1, I read American Queen, and that book irritated me. I don't know what it was. Actually, I do know what it was, but I don't want to talk about it right now. Shall we talk about it? Let's talk about it. Gruya very much annoyed me in book 1. How are you described as being one of the most like observant women in court? Yeah. For you to be so dumb when evidence is right in your face. Like, make it make sense. The only part that I enjoyed in book 1 was the ending. For obvious reasons. It had all my favorite tropes in it as well. And you know when your favorite tropes, it just doesn't hit? It's the worst feeling ever. Then we have What Lurks Between the Fates by Harper Elwoods. I have read books 1 and 2. So far so good. Like, it's enemies to lovers, it's human fae relationship, it's fated mates. There's a lot going on. Spicy as well. Yes. Dark Elf King. Then we have the Monster and Muses book series, books 1 and book 2. I was so excited to read these books. When I first got it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read it. And then I went online and realized that there's a prequel to this book and I cannot, for the life of me, read a book that's not in a chronological order. I'm sorry. And the only reason why I haven't gotten the prequel book is because it's like £8 for like 100 pages. And who wants to do that? Monster and Muses, Sabah Miller. And also, darling, when you open the first page, and it has a trigger warnings list. We have Sinners Anonymous by Some Sketcher. Again, I've started this. I'm on chapter 2, another Polaroid. The only reason why I stopped reading this is because I wasn't in the mood to continue on Mafia series. And then, darlings, we've got Fighting Destiny and Taunting Destiny by Amelia Hutchins, part of the Frey Chronicles. Debauched, depraved. This book series, I'm slowly collecting each month. I have been wanting to read dark romance books for a very long time. And these ones are very much part of that dark romance genre. I've heard so many good things about this book series. So many messed up things as well that I'm so looking forward to, might I say. And let's just be about that. We have Blackwood Institute by J. Rose. This is 3 books in one. It's a psychological thriller set in a mental institute and it's a why choose. There's 5 people, so it's gonna be quite spicy. First of all, it's thriller, it's horror, and it's a why choose. And it's like disturbing, and if it's not disturbing, then I don't want it. I'm that type of person. Then I've got The Sinner and the Ritual by Chantal Tessier. Massive books. I didn't know these books would be this big. I'm still shocked that they're this thick. And I've heard wild things about this book. I'm going to read it. And that's all. I don't know anything about these books. I'm literally going in blind, and that's how I want it. And then the final book is the book I'm currently reading right now. I wanted to share this with you guys. It's Black Ties and White Eyes by Kat Summerton. I am enjoying this book. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been a long video and I'm so not looking forward to editing this. I think we counted around 90 books. But from now on, I do want to put either 1 or 2 books into my monthly TBRs. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed my hauls. I hope there were books that you saw and you loved. Comment down below if you think I should start a particular book straight away. I'm excited to dive into every single one of these books and see what comes out of it. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.